Hey, hey, welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So we do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the shadows, the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and the karmic themes that come from those shadows and spiritual blocks. All right. So you have to keep that in mind. You always have to keep it in mind when listening because the readings tend to be more on the negative side, the darker side, right? Then that's because the majority of time, that's what we're dealing with. So you may think that it's just you. No, unfortunately, the planet, is spiritually sick. And is spiritually sick because we haven't been taught right. We all were taught with parents that were not really, I mean, they weren't spiritual. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, right? They said in 2012 that it was the end of the world. It wasn't the end of the world, it was the end of a consciousness. And that consciousness was of a lower state, one that kept you in a place of disempowerment, one that kept you in a place of limitation, one that kept you stuck in a place of fear. We have no choice at this time in our evolution but to evolve. We have to. And it's because, again, we would never kill each other off, but it makes life so much more difficult. Think about it. Think about being on the planet with scientists that are able to find cures. Think about being on the planet with someone that can build a computer and we can send an email around the world in a half of a second or less, but we don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. We don't know how to make money. You see the paradox? And it's because we were not taught from a spiritual perspective. We were taught more from a dogmatic perspective. And that's again, that spirit is something that's outside of you, that your spiritual sovereignty was something that, you had to acquire outside of you. And it's really not. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Why you can't create a healthy relationship is because you're wounded. Why you attract who you attract into your life is because you're wounded. Does that mean that you stay wounded? No, hopefully through the experiences that you go through that you learn. We associate karma with negative. However, there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs. Your core beliefs determine your habits and your behaviorisms. That is what creates karma. So if you were brought up in an environment that taught you to be a follower, and that could be every time you had an opinion, someone closed it down, or you were made to feel belittled or not good enough for whatever reason, understand you would have formed habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with that core belief, and you're not aware. No one's aware. No one walks around thinking that, but you will know by who comes into your life. You'll know by how much money is in your bank. You know by the state of what your life looks like. If your life doesn't look good, well, you have a lot of shadows. This is going to be the channel for you, because this channel doesn't just give you yes, no. I give advice. I tell you again things from all different perceptions and always give you advice, because there is just certain things in the cards that the cards are not going to tell you. You'll get the idea that you'll be like, yeah, this is my person, but you'll get more information on how to deal with the situation so you can shape shift your situation so you can create balance within yourself. You may never be able to create balance within a situation that is so toxic, because the person that you're dealing with but I will always tell you what to do to make sure that you don't get the karmic retribution, the negative karmic retribution, and how you can shape shift your situation. And that's what's really most important. See, we have free will. Spirit doesn't really care who we choose. Spirit cares whether or not we learn the lesson. And the lesson is unconditional love, that we're not separate from unconditional love, that we're here to give and receive of love, to experience love. That means you experience it with broken people. You experience it with healthy people. You experience it with people that don't love the way that you love. They have a different love language. And you have to understand that your triggers are more about you than the person that you're dealing with. All right, now without further ado, I know that was talking about, I never know why a spirit will channel what it channels to me in the beginning of a video. I guess maybe spirit just gets tired of hearing my same spiel over and over and over again. And, I'm a highly sensitive person. I like consistency. I'm always the same, where spirit says life is all about being able to go with the flow and not always being the same. To not trauma makes us want to live safe. Trauma makes us create this consistency, but spirit says you have to become strong within yourself. When you live very safe, it's like you're trying to control your environment, and what'll manifest is not a safe environment. What'll manifest is what you fear. That's the irony. And then as a highly sensitive, you get overstimulated and then you can't really function. So it's actually counterintuitive, spirit says. So it's all about never knowing and understanding that you're always supported. And you never fail. You either learn or you get what you want, right? So you always win. And the word of the video is hopelessness. Hopelessness. I feel like you're dealing with someone that's like the victim, like someone that's just the victim. And it's because they have a big ego. I'm not going to lie. I feel as if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't see a way to fix things with you, but all I see is that they procrastinate and procrastinate and procrastinate and procrastinate, and they focus on why things won't work. They don't know you well enough. I feel like they think that they know you, but they don't know you, because if they knew you, I feel like they would not feel hopeless. They would feel that they would know what to do to take action. This person is too busy trying to focus, I feel like, on what's going on in your life right now. And because you're not giving them anything, you're not talking to them, and they're spying on your social media, and they see that you're going out, they just assume that you don't care about them at all anymore. So again, they're in a place of hopelessness, but really, they're really stuck in their ego because they regret how they treated you. You were right there. You were right there. And they didn't appreciate the connection. I feel like they didn't know what they wanted. Really, this person is really insecure. And they avoided you because they didn't need to avoid you. I feel like what was a little misunderstanding, what turned into like a bigger thing because this person pushes it. They don't want to ever apologize, and they can't deal with hearing any criticism because they don't feel good about themselves. This person's very negative, and they're very negative because of their core beliefs. I feel like they think that they know you, but then they don't know you. They base, how you're going to react mainly on how people that they've dated reacted. And that's crazy because, they don't know you, but this person doesn't feel safe. They're always strategizing. We can see it. And I also feel like this person is extremely selfish. And when I say selfish, I'm saying like insecure, yes, but like immature, immature. And it's almost like I said, this narcissistic energy because they're so selfish. It's like they know what they have to do. They know all they really have to do is pick up the phone, text message you, have a heart to heart, be transparent. This person doesn't want to be transparent. That's what you're dealing with. So instead, it's poor me, I'm so sad. But really, they have a lot of fear because they acted like they didn't give a shit. And then on top of it, they made matters worse. Like I said, by holding back, I feel like this person talked about you to other people. I feel like, again, this person's a gossiper. I feel that this person has not had any good relationships ever in their life. And it's because they have a big ego. Again, so they're sad. It's not that they're not sad, but I feel like you were sad the whole time when you were in a connection with this person because they weren't giving you anything. And there was always a little bit of, they got off on it a little bit. And I feel like this person came back and had an opportunity to fix things with you and then came back, said something. I feel like you said something back and they saw it as criticism. And but then they also knew by your response that you cared. And I feel they got off on it. I feel like this person loved the fact that you had feelings for them. And I feel like you were dealing with someone that you knew that was not emotionally intelligent. They weren't emotionally intelligent, but they were also playing a game. They were coming in broken, and they would say things to get a reaction and then read the reaction and then never follow through. And it was almost like, I want to keep you on the hook. I want to save you for later. So, oh, you're talking to somebody right now? Oh, like, and you went to go and visit them? Oh, well, we should go away on vacation. We should do that. And if you said, oh, but yeah, I do that, then this person was like, okay, good. My spot is saved. And they would say things. And then after a while, it was almost like you got annoyed because you're like, you keep on breadcrumbing me. You keep on holding back, holding back, holding back, holding back, like playing a game. And so that's why this person is mad with themselves, sad because they're like, you were right there. And you were. And they toyed with you. And you know that they toyed with you. Again, they know that you saw it as betrayal because it was all about them disrespecting you. And then like not being open to like hearing how they made you feel even. This person has an attitude of my way or the highway, very stubborn. But let me tell you something, right now they have anxiety. I feel like at one time you had anxiety with this person. Now you're disgusted because after a certain amount of time, you got angry. And you got angry, like, because it's like this person got cocky. And that's what you felt like. They came back and they were like, oh, good, you have feelings. And they did not fix things with you. They did not know what was going on in your life. They didn't know. It's almost like this person perceives you to be like this perfect person. And though they love that, it triggers them because it brings out their own insecurities. Again, that always like confronting you about what you do, but anytime you would even talk to them, they always saw it as you confronting them. So this person projected a lot, they deflected a lot, they have a big ego. We know that. And that's what the ego does. The ego projects and deflects. This person sees things a lot differently now than what they saw a few months ago. I feel like this person is ruled by their emotions and they're not emotionally intelligent. And that's a dangerous thing because they're detached. But the problem is if you say something that this person doesn't like, again, they see it as criticism because there's a lack within inside of them, then they react. And then they make you pay for it. I feel like they stonewall you, they hold back, they play games, and this person sees everything that they've done. Yeah, you got tired of their mask that they're wearing. It's like you act like you're all that. Someone that's really all that doesn't do all that. You know, someone that's all that values their time. They were messing with your time, but there was a sense that they were messing with a lot of people's time. This person didn't want a relationship. I feel like they were talking to other people, but not giving anything to anybody at all. Just like the getting fed, blowing up their ego. That's what they like. They didn't really want a relationship. And if they had a relationship, which I feel like maybe again they did, but it was like more like a karmic, someone that they screwed around with when they felt like it wasn't respecting that person either. However, that person held the title. Though they said that they weren't with that person, mind you, you felt like there was still an emotional connection, and there is because this person has invested time and energy. Yes, the karmic did hold that energy, that relationship together, but now it's held together by guilt, manipulation, what feels familiar, what's easy because your person's lazy. And what better way to have someone that really just doesn't require anything, that's on call whenever you want? Because that's how much the karmic is getting. They just happen to hold the highest position, meaning that that person will stray, go out, hang out with someone maybe for a few days, maybe a week, maybe a month tops, then go back to the karmic. Then again, like ping pong. So that karmic thinks that they hold some spot. Then here it is, you come along and you're like, this person's a shit show. They're playing all these games like holding back, but then they're still acting like they like me. It's like you were confused all over the place. This person's like playing, toying with you. Now you see it. You didn't see it then because you never dealt with anyone like this before. That you're like, okay, I can feel there's a spiritual connection. I can feel that you have feelings for me. I know what you're saying is like you care, but then like the action of it, because they didn't want that. They wanted to kind of save it for later, if that makes sense. Almost like layaway, like let me just come in and breadcrumb every few, weeks, a month, and I'm getting put layaway, because like I know eventually I'm gonna be with you because I like everything that you are. I'm just not ready for somebody so serious. I'm just not ready for all that. And you're gonna want me to be accountable, and I don't really want to be accountable. Like I'm having fun out here. And I feel like this person was in a bad relationship a long time ago. And I feel like because of that, and mainly because of just their own, not even intimate relationships, I feel like just wounded past, like maybe inherited a lot of ancestral karma, family karma, like that this person has a really hard time letting go of the past because they don't do any healing. So unfortunately, all those behaviorisms and habits that they acquired from growing up in trauma and then being in relationships that this person is not emotionally intelligent, however, they are ruled by their emotions, which it's like dealing with someone that's bipolar. That's why there's a narcissism energy there. They're like where this person is just like it's all about them. They're stubborn, they're immature, It's again, they had a very, very big ego, but it's because again, it manifests in chaos in the relationships. And I also feel like you didn't have an easy upbringing either. And you tend to get people that tend to be selfish, tend to not be able to give you emotionally what you need. So this is a mirroring energy right here. Now, it doesn't mean that you're wearing a mask. Understand, you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life because of the energy vibration. So if you have a low self-esteem because you came from an imbalanced environment where you dated a few people that, again, there was trauma, emotional, psychological trauma, it's played out as well, like where you're like, oh, I just keep attracting the same thing and I don't understand why I feel like I can't have love. Bingo, that's why. The person that's actually creating all that bullshit wearing a mask, well, they're also have that same core belief, and that's why you're attracting what you're attracting. And that happens sometimes if you were brought up in an environment where you didn't feel loved, like you felt that you needed to sacrifice yourself, and when I say sacrifice yourself, it's like give all your resources, give your time, your energy, your focus, your money to like helping support the family. Like it was more like a communal living. You weren't allowed to have your own identity. And that happens when there's not enough money, when there's struggle, when it's, again, families do the best that they can with what they have to work with. Again, we were not, our families were not taught spiritually. They were taught religiously. And that a lot of times only just creates divide, to be honest with you, because your views are not my views, and don't push your views on to me, instead of understanding that all religions lead back to the same thing, which is love, unconditional love. And that's really what God is, unconditional love. And we're here to experience that by giving and receiving of love. I mean, I have my views, I'm Catholic, but I respect everybody's religion. Like I said, I just feel like this person grew up in an environment where, if anything, the spirituality was seen as like Satanism, you know? I feel like that's for some of you guys. So they're really not evolved at all, is what I'm telling you. They were led by brimstone, and you're going to hell. You're not loved. You're not, where really, again, we are love. We're an extension of God. When we die, this physical body dies, the spirit part of ourselves goes back to source. It lives forever. And we live many, many lifetimes to learn that we're not separate from love, because we don't learn. It takes us a few times to learn the same lesson. That's a normal thing. So, uh, due to the issue with feeling like this person is still connected to their ex, even though I don't really feel like they are, it's just that person's on call. And there's familiar, I should say there is an emotional bond, that's a lie. Even it's more like a trauma bond though, because that person doesn't get anything. They're giving a lot. They just have this title per se, and knows that that person they can guilt and manipulate. Um, but that affected your passion. Like at one point, you were really attracted to this person. You really liked this person a lot. I feel like it had the potential to go all the way, but they played so many games. That's what this person knew. That's why they were trying to keep you on the hook for later. They were trying to keep you on layaway for that reason, because they were like, I know that this is a good thing. I know it. I have love. I have passion. But I'm not ready for that relationship. I don't want it. I don't want it right now. That's not what I want to do. I want my ego fed. I want to be spoiled brat. Again, I feel very immature. They say insecure, but I feel really immature. Now, I don't care if you're dealing with someone that's 50 or 60. I'm telling you, it's like almost like I can do this. And possibly because this person was maybe really nerdy, back in high school, and they're like seen as someone important now that they're older. So they're like, no, this is my time to shine. Where it's like, listen, it's like, no. You know what I mean? It's like ready to have someone change your depends. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the person's ego is out of control. It's like what they see in the mirror is not what everyone else sees, and it's not what you see anymore. And that's because there was a part of you that really wanted this person, and they let you down because they played with you. You saw it as betrayal, and you saw it as betrayal because they sabotaged this connection. It was a beautiful connection. That's why they wanted to hold on to you. They shit all over it. That's why they were like, you were right there. You were right there. Yeah, you should be kicking yourself. You should be kicking yourself.
From TikTok, a heart emoji, new likes. You have 6 new likes.
Woo! I don't know if you guys heard that. Okay. I mean, I want to see, are they going to do anything? Or how do they feel? Soulmate, that's what I said. I said they knew. They knew. And that's why they're kicking themselves. They were like, you felt like home, I fucked up this situation. But because I was unavailable for you, I couldn't give you. I know you see it as betrayal. I act like I don't care, but deep down I do, again, because they're stuck in their ego. I'm hopeless. I don't know what to do. Yes, you do know what to do. You do know what to do, but you want to hold back. You want to hold back. You want me to come talk to you because you want to leave pieces out of your story. That's why. This person is making changes for the better. However, they claim to be working on themselves. And though, even though they're emotionally not available, there is a telepathic bond. So they can't help but to have an emotional connection. Again, they knew that this was a soulmate connection. They knew it. They knew it had the potential to go the distance. And they didn't give you the time. They didn't give you the time, but they don't want you to move on. They're afraid. They're gonna claiming they're gonna come back for you. I didn't mean what I said. Again, they downplayed this connection to you. I feel like you might have said something to them, and again, this person's very reactionary. They don't have good relationships, and they haven't healed from past relationships, and they're still connected. So some weird whatever that shit that is, it's because it's not really a relationship. It's some weird, it's just comfortable where that person, again, the karmic is like, I don't care just as long as like I hold my space. This person can't help it. They have constant reminders of you, but they hold back, giving you the silent treatment. And that's what I said about, I said, it felt like there was a lot of stonewalling, like almost like this person was trying to like intimidate you. Like, I'm going to hold back. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to hold back because I know any day, you're going to come talk to me. You're going to come there. No. Why am I going to talk to you? It's like you're not giving me anything and you still are holding on to something. It's like, and the biggest thing and what this person is so terrified of is exactly what's happening, where you're like, I'm not really attracted anymore. I'm not really like, I don't really have that, again, the passion. There's too many things that frustrate you about them. And it's because, again, they toy with you, they toy. So this person still has feelings for you. They still want to come back to you, but it's again, I don't really believe that they have a plan. You know, that's the thing. They say that they're making changes for the better, but I want to just ask, whoever's lingering is part of their changes to get some of those people out of their life. Let's ask that question because it's like, who came out? Block change, barriers. That karmic is not going to just let this person go that easy, okay? So they plan on coming back, but I believe that that's part of it. And again, this person is doing research. They're like doing research on you to see, but it's like, will they let go? And I feel like on the surface, it'll look like it. On the surface, there's on the surface right there. But saying to look beneath. So they'll say that they got, because I feel like that's something that they do often. Like I said, it's not like this person doesn't stray. They stray all the time. The karmic knows that. It's again, but as far as really leave, it's going to be roadblocks. They're not going to be able to leave as easy as they think that they're going to leave, or they're not going to be able to. And that's because they do the same thing over and over again. I feel like this person gets off on even watching the karmic lose their mind, because it's like it feeds their ego. And it's like you're never really leaving. There's an energy like this. What it is your person does not respect that karmic anymore. So they treat them like a rag doll. But I do feel like they do feel bad and they do feel guilty, because it's almost like, you love me so much, you've given me so much, but it's like, I just don't have those feelings for you. This is Joker card. That's I would say that the chameleon card. I feel like no, like again, I feel like no, and I'm going to tell you why, because this person is unemotional. What they are going to do is they are going to get that karmic out of their life really fast, like abruptly, okay? They're going to be very cold about it. However, I feel like this person is very, like, is again led mainly by their emotions, and they're going to feel guilted because there's a reason why they always go back to that karmic. And it's because they don't have to do anything. They're very comfortable. It's like, it's what's familiar. You let me stray. You let me do whatever the fuck I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. If I'm with you, I already know I like you because of who you are, but I know you're going to require me to be a certain way. And this person is not used to dealing with it. So I'm going to make a wise choice that this person is not going to, even though I do feel like they're going to come back, they're going to contact you. I feel like there's something with that karmic. Like the karmic will let them stray. But once that karmic sees that, like, if they're gonna move on and they're never gonna see their person again, I feel like it's gonna be a shit show. And that's what it says here too. So, I mean, can it be avoided? I'm sure it can, like now that you know, you know, but nevertheless, you still can't trust your person, because again, what this tells me is that they haven't given you any time. They've held back, they've held back, they've held back, and the whole time they keep going back to that karmic. So there is this emotional bond there. That's number one. Number two, it's like once this person, the passion and the excitement is out from being with you, well, again, you're going to still have demands. You're still going to want this person to treat you a certain way, and they're used to not treating you a certain way. They've been holding back, holding back, holding back. They're used to not doing shit for the karmic. Now they're going to come back to you, and you don't think that they would like drop it like it's hot once you became too demanding? Of course they would. That's what it says right here. Because they're not emotional, okay? They would again be very critical. They're still calculating like how they want to navigate the relationship. That's why they're hopeless, because they see that you're not gonna budge. You're not falling for it. That's why they're hopeless, because they can easily change this, but they would have to surrender their ego. They would have to be transparent. They'd have to offer you something. And that's a little too much for a person that is not used to doing shit. However, they know that you're a great catch. They love, again, what that would be for them for someone like you to be with them. Don't do it. Don't do it. You attracted this person. Laughter. That's a funny one. Innocence. Play. This is crazy. All this is childhood, by the way. All of it. All of it. Isolation. Abuse. I'm going to pull one more because I'm cool to just pull one more. Magic. So all these are childhood, okay? Play. There was no play. Your innocence was robbed. As I said, I feel like you grew up in an environment that, again, you just didn't feel loved. Your energy was to give. You were the healer of the family. I feel like there wasn't really much laughter, though I feel like you were a very happy child without, just your natural way about you. I feel like you're a highly sensitive person, and highly sensitive people are loving, they're happy, they're kind. It's like they might be shy, but I feel like, again, there wasn't really that much laughter because you didn't feel safe. And I know that because of magic. See, magic is when you're able to draw on your spiritual gifts, right? And your spiritual gifts are being psychic, is being intuitive, is being creative, is all the right brain parts of your mind, able to connect with people on a heart level, on a heart consciousness. So having a lot of friends, feeling very rooted, again, able to make things happen for yourself, because it's not even how much you know, it's who you know. And it's being able to again be grounded and make things happen. And I feel like that's you. You've always been able to do that for yourself. Because again, the child that survives thrives through the imagination. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So I believe that you again were up in your mind a lot as a child. So you have a very strong psychic and intuitive abilities, a lot of creative abilities. And that's where your magic
Messenger,
resides.
Kathy Ballard, 1 day ago.
Annoying, sorry. And then because of abuse. But and it's really now to go out and play. Because I believe that your innocence was robbed as a child. And this person, like if you were to be with them, they would rob you of like even more. Like I don't believe that you've had bad relationships, before this person. Maybe not a lot of relationships, or maybe the relationships never really got that deep. I'm not saying you never were heartbroken and that a relationship never worked out. I'm talking about you never were with someone that was a narcissist, someone that you had such a strong spiritual connection, that to the point that you had strong feelings for this person. This person knew it. They loved it. They ate it up. And you were never dealt with a person that wanted to keep you on layaway. I wanted to just keep giving you breadcrumbs and hold back and still hold on to other people. And as narcissistic energy, very selfish, very selfish. So again, it's repeating a pattern, because I feel like now it's all about you going out and playing and utilizing your magic, not isolation. When you grow up in an environment where you don't feel safe and protected, you isolate. When you have problems, right, and you go through things, and you're a child and you grow up in abuse, you isolate. Children do that because they have to figure things out. So they learn how to do that. Excuse me. So, you would be repeating like the same feelings, the same emotions, and not being supported. This person's like not emotionally available. You came from that. Who the fuck wants that? Nobody wants that. Even if you didn't come from that, it's not worth it. The karmic is getting something, but understand they would have had to have grown up in an environment where they got nothing and they're okay with it. And possibly because, again, they're getting money, maybe they can't support themselves. They're getting something out of the deal, but they're compromising themselves. And they would be eventually running themselves through anger. And believe me, that's why this person, if they really tried to leave, it would be a problem. Even though the karmic says, no, it's okay, they can move on, and no, this and that, trust me. All right, so let's ask Spirit one last thing. I know this reading is probably super ass long. But let's see anyway, like what should we leave this off on? I mean, now that whole thing, it's like it's a soulmate and it didn't work out. It was really a karmic mate that it could have been good. It's like you both felt that. What are you supposed to take away from this, aside from, again, Spirit saying you have to still integrate the spiritual lesson. Again, this energy is still inside of you, and you can transmute it with this energy. Goodness, I overcome my imperfections. And growing up in an environment where there's no support, you didn't feel loved, emotionally unavailable, well, guess what? You would not feel good about yourself, because children need to feel loved and supported and feel that they're good. And Spirit says, you are good. I don't make junk. God says that. I don't make broken things. Everything is perfect the way that I make it. Even Helen Keller was perfect. We're still talking about her, and she's changed millions of billions of quadruple thousands of millions of people. I don't know if that's even a word, but the max amount, infinity, and will continue, and people will always know about her, because look what the fuck. But look at the price that she had to pay. She had to be deaf, blind, mute, dumb, But she became extremely wealthy, successful person. We're still talking about her. I mean, and her ancestors like have inherited so much shit because of her. Okay, so I overcome my imperfections, which again, your imperfections are perceptions. Polish your character. Again, always come from a place of unconditional love. Anything that makes you not be able to come from that does not need to be in your life. Why? Because you're a magnet of what comes into your life. If you want abundance to come into your life, you have to come from the highest state of consciousness. And that means even if a person's an asshole, it's like it means forgiveness, self-sacrifice, all the energies of unconditional love. Then you will free yourself, allow your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy. Again, like a child, like, again, your magic manifest, right? Through your gentleness, like a child. I offer unconditional support. Why? Because you didn't have unconditional love. That's what it felt like. Where spirit says, ah, you got to do that for yourself. You got to reparent yourself. Understand, love, and make sure that you give it to yourself and others by giving and receive of love through your free will, through your passion. And if you don't know what that is, you don't have any business being in a relationship. And the reason why is because you'll always give too much to a relationship. And maybe when you met this person, you weren't fully embodied, or maybe you still aren't in your soul's path. Now, if that sounds like you and this sounds like you, then you might want to consider booking a shadow reading with me, because you don't have to continue to live the karmic theme that keeps you stuck in a place of limitation and fear. And if you go into a relationship and you're fearful, well, no matter what you try to create, whatever you try to, whatever mask you decide to wear, you will not manifest that. You will manifest the fear. Remember, it says in scripture, what you persist, resist. What you resist persists. Meaning, if you don't learn the spiritual lesson, it's going to happen again, just with a different person. So, again, you might want to take that into consideration, and it's all about your goodness, because you can't attract a person of a low vibration unless you are on a low vibration. But the low vibration is about not loving yourself. Here you are, you're like, I'm a nice person. I'm a good person. I love everyone. Spirit says, do you love yourself? Because that's what's going to reflect. And Spirit says, and I don't think you know your worth. And I need you to, again, work on your goodness. Know your goodness, so that you're going to attract someone that honors you, loves you, supports you. I'm going to leave that there. By the way, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box my shadow healing coaching program, $7.99. But you really have to want to do the shadow coaching. People sign up, and I think that sometimes they think that it's going to be readings all the time. It's not. It's actually shadow work. And we always talk about the triggers, and we go through the different lessons. And now that, things are I'm wrapping things up with my husband's estate because he passed. I'll be doing more live streams. So you'll always have an opportunity to enter into winning a free reading with me. Gotta like the video and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for all your comments, by the way. I meant to say that in the beginning. I forgot. I love reading them. I kind of read them like throughout the day. And, I process. But I want to thank you. And I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.